Big up, welcome in, episode 200, the big 200. I'll never forget when I crossed the threshold into 200 plus pounder myself. But how are you doing? I'm not talking about fish or flounder. I'm talking about Archie Gray. I'm not also trying to talk about my body weight because that would just be embarrassing. But how are you doing? Welcome in. What a strange intro to such a special episode. I want to say first and foremost, thank you so much to everyone who has tuned in throughout, whether you caught one of the 200, 200 of the 200. I mean, if you caught 200 out of the 200, you're really, we got to make some merch and send you some, because honestly, that's big time. But big up, there's already over 100 and some people here, and most of them, I believe, are Elon Musk bots, but we move. I will entertain the bots. I suppose whenever the Terminator takeover happens, if I'm friends with the bots, everything will be all right. They're going to be, hey, we know this guy. Maybe not, though. We'll find out. But big up to everyone, whether you're on YouTube, Twitter, whatever it is. Welcome to United Spurs of America. I am, of course, Jacob. Chewy's here. Do we have a signing? I don't know. Archie Gray, I'm told, or this guy is saying, not I'm told, he doesn't know me. He didn't tell me this personally, but he tweeted about it. Hang on now. Tottenham, we're working on a deal to sign Archie Gray from Leeds. That was this morning, bright and early, waking up to some good news. So I'm feeling too blessed to be stressed. Before we really break into the nitty gritty, open the sandwich up and really fill it up with the meats and the sauces and the pickles. Maybe a piece of some lettuce or onions, something of the sort. We're going to make a fucking sandwich, basically. But big up to you if you are here. Make sure you're hitting the like. I do have a poll in the chat right now talking about Archie Gray. 22 votes. Thoughts on if Tottenham lands Archie Gray? 38% right now says I like it and I like Archie Gray. Hey, talk to me nicely, baby, because that's actually exactly how I feel. 23% says I'm thrilled he can be generational. Now, I use that word generational specifically. There is a specific reason. I'm not trying to blow smoke. I'm not trying to act like this is somehow something that it isn't or something that it could be, and this is just a wild fantasy of me. It's not. I like to look at the fan bases in which we pick these players up from and kind of judge their reactions, see what the temperature's like in their side of the pool, so to speak. And, by all accounts, this is a word that they have thrown around. I have seen some very large Leeds channels, and if you need my sources, I will cite my sources. I'll hopefully one day get him on the channel. He's a pretty big content creator, but he thinks that this is a young man who can be generational, that this is one of those guys that comes out of the Leeds Academy that you don't see every 50 years, 100 years. So we will talk about it. We will get into it. But let's say hello to everyone in the chat before we keep on going. Over 150 people. I'm sure most of those are Elon bots. I'm not even going to look at, it'd be great if the numbers were reversed, like the YouTube numbers were the Twitter numbers and the Twitter numbers were the YouTube numbers. But hey, we move. Whoever's here is here, and appreciate your support. Like George, happy 200 day. Big up to you, George, longtime supporter of the channel, of what we're doing here. Big up to you. Appreciate that, my friend Cursor. Same thing goes to you. Even he's not even a Tottenham fan, and he's over here smashing the like. So big up to you, Cursor. Hope you're doing well. Tottenham Debate Master is here in the chat. Making sure everyone hears his opinion. Drula says, I managed to stay up and watch you live. Big up, Jacob. Hey, big up, Drula. Hope you and your family are well. Big up to the chat. Big up to you, Drula. Very glad to see that you could stay up. Maybe you fell asleep by the time I had to start late. It wasn't my fault, Drula. Don't be upset. If you do watch this back on playback, don't be upset with me. It wasn't my fault. Groceries arrived. Kids were waking up. I was sorting things out. So major apologies for that. ZX is in the house as typical Spurs buying cheap options. For the way that some people talk about Archie Gray, you would think he was a cheap option. I don't think it's that cheap of an option, in my opinion. We will find out. Nick's in the house is excited, I guess, but I'll believe it when I see it. Look, Ornstein was the guy who also broke, I believe he's the one who broke the Olise Crystal Palace stuff. I think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's the guy that broke that story. So I feel pretty confident about it, because not only after he tweeted about it, you know who had to tweet about it. Wait, that's the first tweet he had. Wait, it's this one. So he basically was just saying, yeah, David Ornstein reported this. that Tottenham have made contact with Leeds. So we've made contact. Spurs have got the green light from Gray. He's ready for it. Keen on the move after Brentford move off despite the medical. And a lot of Leeds fans I was hearing as well were pretty thrilled that he wouldn't have to go to Brentford because they don't like Brentford. I don't understand the Leeds and Brentford beef personally, but you know, big up to them. Yeah, apologies for being late. My fault there. Drula could not stay awake, so she was here just a couple minutes later saying she couldn't make it. Night all, thought I could stay awake. It's late here, got an early one tomorrow. Have a great stream. I'll be watching it back in the morning. Bay of Drula. So you will be watching it back. Hello. I hope you're doing well. Kai Coys, first time watcher here, desperate for some Archie Gray news. Kai Coys, we do got the Archie Gray news. And allegedly, he was on standby to do a medical. Now, if the medical had happened, we would have heard about it. I am 100% certain of that. But I also saw this right before I was about to go live. Let me share this for those of you, maybe on your phone and it's hard to read that small little text. Alistair Gold, right before I was going to go live, tweeted, understand Spurs have received a verbal offer from Joe Rodon from Ipswich. Nothing formal or submitted yet. As reported before, Leicester and Leeds are also after the Wales defender, who is currently abroad at training camp ahead of the new season. So, if we are to believe what this man is saying, one might think that... I see this comment. Hey, there's somebody. That's not a Elon bot. Hey, there is a real person on Twitter. Because it's really distracting. I'm like, oh wow, 200 people watching. That's crazy, right? And then I look. You can see. You hover over it. It says 190 are on Twitter, and I'm like, wow. So 200 people watching on Twitter, and we actually have a Twitter comment. So that's actually pretty cool. I didn't think that we'd have that. You think Rodon or Skip will be included in the deal? That depends on... Hey, I was just mentioning this tweet right here. Bastain, however you say your name, apologies. But per this, Ipswich have given us a verbal offer. So Ipswich are talking to us about Joe Rodon. I've heard Skip be rumored to go into Leeds. I think he would flourish in Leeds personally. Do I think Rodon or Skip? Maybe this will accelerate that. Ipswich coming in for them. My dog is now dreaming and barking in his sleep. Y'all hear that? You okay, Chewy? I guess he's defending the house in old dreamland there. But big up Bastain over there on the Twitter. If you are on Twitter, let me know so I know you're not just an Elon bot. Maybe I will spend $8 and see if I can monetize over there. Emerson Royale would take Archie under his wings. Well, I think you might be taking the piss here, because Emerson Royale, he might be going to Milan, he might be going to jail. I actually don't know. Daniela Zito, moving quickly for an option that doesn't take us forward instantly, and an option that comes from the championship, and yet again another 18 years. Sorry, my freaking chat just updated and it scrolled it away. An option that comes from the championship, and yet again another 18-year-old is laughable. I can understand why you might feel that way. I feel pretty good about this Archie Gray signing. Now, of course, it would feel a lot better if it was the caveat to an Ebrechi Eze signing. I completely feel in agreement with that sentiment. I don't know if it's laughable, scooping up these young talent that we believe, the last few years, the way that Tottenham are set up to get these kids in the scouting manner that we've done it have led us to Ugodi, excuse me, mispronounced his name, Destiny Ugodi, you might know him. Mickey Van de Veen, Vicario, those are not a couple bad shouts. Papa Matasar. If that again leads us to Lucas Bergvall, Archie Gray, these are, some highly touted names across Europe per, whatever scouting, those, what are those accounts? They're always the Rising Stars or the Promising Talent, some shit like that on Twitter. But anyway, these are names that are often mentioned there. So, hey, it's always the question, right? Whether this person will or will not live up to be whatever you hope they can be. Archie Gray, obviously there's a lot of hope entailed with that buy. When you do a Timo Werner loan deal, there's not hope in that. That's just, all right. So, Not the greatest first two signings, I'll be honest. Daniel Zito. If you look at it from a bird's eye point of view, you say, all right, what have Tottenham done since the window has been open? What have our competitors done since the window has been open? City hasn't done anything to my knowledge except something with an academy kid. Who's second? Arsenal. I ain't seen them do any buys or sales. I've seen us do a lot of sales. We did do a lot of sales, a lot of terminating a contract, so that's good. Liverpool, they've been rumored and linked. They're doing the whole thing we're doing, the thinking about, talking to them nicely, desiring. What else was there? Aston Villa, they've been doing a lot of business. So I guess when you look at Aston Villa, Brighton, there's all those other clubs. They're doing the whole money laundering thing. The Breaking Bad is hitting the Premier League, so to speak, with these clubs basically bailing each other out of their PFF, fucking pro writing. Was it PBR, PSR, FFP, and FOP? I don't fucking know. But yeah, it's not the greatest first two buys, but I can understand why maybe the Ezzy deal's not going to be instant. The dude's literally playing at the Euros right now, so a lot of players have kind of distanced themselves from making moves while being away. But you know, Archie Gray, he's not away. He's right there somewhere. I think he's a Leeds boy. He's from Yorkshire. Dunkelsdork's not from Yorkshire, I don't think, but big up to you. Says big up Jacob. Long time no see. Busy summer. Good to see you again. Good to see you, Dunkelsdork. I see you're still a member. Hey, whether you're here a long time, short time, you're still a member. Hey, I appreciate that, my friend. Supporting the channel. Big up to you. Gray is a kid in Premier terms. That is true. He didn't get a single Premier League minute when the Leeds were in the Premier League, but he has been playing for them in the Championship, so I would qualify him as a Championship player. However, I don't have a problem pulling talent that is legitimately talent from Championship players, you know, like what Daniel Zito was saying, an option that comes from the Championship. If we bought Somerville, I wouldn't have been upset about it. I wouldn't have been like, oh, it's just a player from the Championship. I say, hey, that's a player I've been wanting for a couple years now. I saw him in the Premier League, and I saw that he could score in the Premier League. I assume the people celebrating the Archie Gray news are being sarcastic. I'm not. No, like, if you want my stance, I like the Archie Gray deal. Like, obviously, the what do they call it? The optics. That's the word I was looking for. The optics of Archie Gray being the deal that follows a Timo Werner 12-month extension. Like, I can see why people might turn their nose up to that. Me personally, Archie Gray, when we were first linked with him, when the window wasn't even open, I was actually pretty excited about this. So for me, again, I think I like what Kai Koiz is saying here. You know, I think generational is a stretch. It absolutely is a stretch. I don't know about generational. I can't say I've watched him enough to say I believe this, to put my face and name out there and say Jacob from United Spurs of America believes he's generational. I haven't watched him like that. So I'm not going to say that about a player I ain't watched like that. I've casually seen him, and I've liked him when I've casually seen him. But when you hear from people who watch him week in, week out, every single competition, I think he played 50-some games last year in all comps for Leeds. So for me, someone who's seen him over 50-something games, they'd have a much better based opinion grounded in reality than I would. Mine would be just looking at stuff, the Leeds games that I did catch last year. Obviously, I didn't watch every single Leeds match. I do keep up with Leeds, so that luckily that is a team in which I could say I have seen him play, but nothing to an extent that I would say, oh yeah, I believe this kid's generational. That's why me personally in the poll, what I would have voted, I like it and I like Archie Gray. That's how I feel about it. Is it the best timing? No. Is it the greatest yada yada? No. But I like that whenever I was, you know, looking through the links and seeing people talking about him on Twitter, the temperature I was kind of seeing from the masses, people were saying, oh, he's going to be, you know, competing with Sarr, competing with Basuma. Like they were saying a midfield of Bergvall, Sarr, and Archie Gray is going to be like, you know, how people on Twitter, they get pretty hyped up. They're talking, basically hyping up Sarr, Bergvall, and Archie Gray. And I saw him at right back, and I actually thought that that would be a very suitable position. Pedro Porro's shown that there's moments in which he's quite porous. I'm going to start porous. I don't know. But either way, my statement stands that I think Pedro Porro needs some competition. Destiny needs some competition. I saw João Cancelo as well was I think he's going to be a free agent. I wouldn't mind João Cancelo, someone to compete with Destiny, make Destiny be better, so he doesn't pick up that red card next year that he picked up this year, so he doesn't get those cheeky little yellows that he was picking up. Someone to sharpen the tools. That's what I'll help me sharpen the tools, baby. Come on now. Big up Destiny 5, big up Jacob, big up Patty Hartnett. How are you doing, my my Limerick Spurs man? Come on now. You know I got the flag back there. How we doing? A lot of fans have settled for mediocrity, and it's a shame with the caliber of players we're bringing in. I'm not sure what that means. Big up Daniela. Big up to Chewy. Appreciate that. Archie Gray says meh, or Archie Gray is meh, says Scott M. Would be good if we properly brought players around him, but we know we won't. Well, hey, Scott, you know what I'm going to take from this? The chance that you believe he could be good. So maybe if we do the right thing, then he can be the guy that we want him to be. Hopefully. Hopefully. I did say that this is one of those deals that the caveat is hope, obviously. And that's never an exciting prospect when you're like, I hope that this kid can be this great. But they were talking about 50, 60 million. That's when I was like, yeah, you can miss me with that Archie Gray talk. But if it's what they're saying on Twitter, I'm not saying that I got any kind of report that no one's seen, but they're saying 30 to 35 mil. I'm cool with 30. If we could get it down to 25 plus a Oliver Skip, that'd be even better. Because then we get someone out the door. Wouldn't that be nice? Get some more out the door. Get them all going. More out the door. More out the door. That'd be very nice. Jacob, hey, big up Spurs GCTV. Jacob, looks like we're building a serious squad for the future. Guess some fans will not be happy as no win now signings as yet, but early days. Early days indeed. Who's to say, Bergvall can't come in and compete now? I don't know. He's, 18, 19 years old from Norway League? He plays in the Norway League or the Swedish League. I'm not sure, to be completely honest. So there's a huge question mark. Sar, there's a question mark. Basuma, there's a question mark. Madison's a question mark. There's a lot of question marks around these players. So, I said I can understand why some people be like, this isn't the, I'm so angry. To me, Archie Gray, that's an exciting deal for me, personally. Destiny says, I'm okay with Archie Gray if it's a swap for Roden and company not worth 40 mil. He's definitely not worth 40 mil. I think that's a little much. But if you can get it 30, 35, I'm good with that. I've also seen, like I said, I was watching Leeds streams earlier today before the Euros. They were, I was asking them, what do you think about Archie Gray? What are your thoughts about Archie Gray? Chewy, are you all right, dude? You sneezing and shit. It's really messing with the flow. You okay? All right. Jesus Christ. My goodness. Bro. Wowzers. Don't ever stream with a dog as your co-host, I suppose. Anywho, what was I saying? Something about Skip? Skip the other way? Oh, they were saying in the Leeds chats that if they got 30 million plus Roden or Skip, that they would be happy with that. They wanted Roden, they want to buy him permanently, and they want to loan Skip. That's what they were saying, some people in the chat. So I'm cool with that too. But maybe you just, since, Ipswich want Joe Roden, maybe we let Ipswich buy Joey, rack up the price up. Joey did himself some favors there in the championship last season. So maybe Joey get a little bit of a bigger price tag. I don't know. How many 18-year-olds do we want? We forget in our own academy or something. I'll put it this way, Danielle Zito, as well, which I guess you seem to be the most adamantly upset, or I guess the one that's talking about not enjoying it the most. Danielle, if you are still here, I realize I'm about 11 minutes behind in the chat. What I would say about this is Archie Gray is significantly better as a fullback than anybody in the academy. So when we're talking about pulling up a kid from the academy to play either right back or left back for us in the Premier League, in the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Europa, whatever the hell it is, for me, I enjoy thinking that Archie Gray could get a start there rather than Paskotsky. You know, I subscribe to Spurs Play. I'll watch, and I try to watch what our fullbacks are doing as well, because I want to see, hey, are we playing the Ainge Postecoglou way in the academy? Is that what we're trying to do? You know, having an identical identity throughout every phase of our academy into the first team, because then you never have to worry. Pedro Porro plays like shit. You got old Johnny John in the fucking academy. He can come up and play. Oh, come on, Johnny. And then you got Jimmy, and Jimmy play left back. You got Johnny on right back, Jimmy on left back. Guess what? They've been playing whatever the fuck inverted fullbacks that we've been running for X amount of years. No problem. There's James Madison goes down. Wow, Jamie Donnelly. He's been playing 3 years in the academy, this style, so he can take over for James Madison. That's my point, is you bring in a guy like Archie Gray, he's better than any fullback that we've got. Now, you could argue, does he fit into the midfield? I don't know. I also put that in the title. Do y'all see him as an Ainge ball DM or a fullback? For me, I'm just going to say fullback, and I'll probably fucking be wrong. And Ainge will see him as like a 6 or something. I don't know. But the kid's not small. He is a large 18-year-old. So for me, I'm not worried about the physicality. I'm not worried. I've only seen this kid talked about in high regards all season. Literally since I can remember in the beginning of the season, I was seeing people talking about how good this Archie Gray is, how he's going to be the next big thing for England. These scouting reports were saying Archie Gray is one of these names to remember for England. They also threw, like Mikey Moore out there, which I would love to see Mikey Moore get in. So Danielle, I'm actually with you as well with the whole, I want to see academy kids coming through to the first team. Mikey Moore, Jamie Donnelly. What's up with Alfie Devine? I heard he was supposed to be a star boy. I'm not convinced with Dane Scarlett. I'm not really convinced with Troy Parrott, although maybe we want to see what Troy Parrott could offer us in the preseason. Maybe he's turned out to be a decent little striker we could use. I don't know. If we, sell Richarlison and buy us a big boy, maybe, Parrott could be just as good as Richarlison. I don't know. That's another question mark. But I am with this sentiment that I need us to have these academy kids, but if they're not good enough, which that's been known and that's been said for a few years now, and it was only until last year that our academy actually looked somewhat decent. So we are in a bit of a transitional phase, in our academy. So for me, the worrying about we forgetting our own academy, no, we ain't forgetting about our own academy. Our own academy ain't good enough right now. So what do? You get players who are young and can be like that academy kid. This was a star academy kid for Leeds. They love him. They've seen him grow. They believe that he's going to be using Tottenham as a stepping stone for a Bayern, for a Manchester City, or whoever is, the money dealer when he comes to be a little bit better. But my whole point, I'm digressing a little bit here, Daniela, but I'm glad that you are asking these questions, because it reminds me of points that I want to make. So I'm just going to kind of do that in regards to the Archie Gray, because for me, there's not a single player in the academy I say I would like them to be the guy who pushes Pedro Porro, because I don't think that there's the gap between Pedro Porro and our academy fullbacks is more substantial than it is you go and get Archie Gray. Now you've actually got someone who I genuinely believe can compete on a defensive front. Now going forward, it will be interesting to see, but from a defensive standpoint and a player standpoint, he's a large profile. He's not slow. I really like a lot of things. Well, I got these different tabs and shit we'll look at and we'll talk about, but I'm gonna try and catch up on the chat. But big up to everyone who's here. It says over 400 people are here, and if there's 350 Elon bots, that's crazy to me. If you are on Twitter, man, go over to the YouTube because if you okay, because if the 400 of y'all on Twitter, if you're real people and you all subscribe to the YouTube channel, we could literally hit 5K tonight on the YouTube channel. So come on over and fucking like the video. Wait, maybe I'll put it in the chat. So that way those of you on Twitter, you can click the link and just subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. We can get to 5K. Subscribe to the channel. We can get to 5K. Chewy's chasing. Hey, Chewy. Big up Nate Pie and all the entire Pie family. Thank you for another show, Jacob. Big up. Big up, big up. Did y'all enjoy the Euros today? Big up Danielle Zito. Like I said, I always love opposing views. I love the questions, the accountability. I like all that. I'll be honest. I like that a lot. Internet guy says Archie Gray has value beyond his skill. Homegrown English versatile. Internet guy is talking to me nicely. And speaking of talking to me nicely, and has value beyond his skill. What a beautiful segue I'm about to just give you into a surprise guest. Y'all didn't know it was about to happen. We've got Ash Maddock in the house. What's up, Ash?
Oh, homie! What is going on, bro? Long time no hear.
Hey. You've been international Ash Maddock. Come on now. You've been out here in the I seen them videos. You sent them. But how are you living, man?
Bro, I've had a mad weekend. I can't lie to you. Non-stop. And I've been missing a lot of football. I'll be real. I've been chasing that paper. Not that I chase money like that, but you know, sometimes you have goals in life, you have aspirations, and you just need to meet them.
Oh yeah. Hey, speaking of meet them, have you met a young man that goes by the name of Archie Gray?
Oh, young Archie. I do like the show. Young Archie. Young Archie. Yeah. You know what?
Archibald?
Yeah. I mean,
is that his name? His full government? I don't know. Is it Archibald or is it Archer? Is it Archie? Little Archie.
I like Archer because there's a show called Archer. I watch on Netflix and I watch it on Amazon Prime. We got something called Amazon Prime.
Oh, that is a good cartoon. Archer, yeah. That cartoon. I do like it.
Yeah, I fucks with that. I fucks with Archer. But
what's your initial feelings, man? You hear Archie Gray, obviously like 11 hours ago, it was the Ornstein Bomba, which some are saying Ornstein is carrying the whole ITK on Twitter game right now because he dropped the Olise Bomba, he dropped the this one, and there's a few other. Is this even a Bomba? Some fans I've seen are not very thrilled about it. They think it's another run-of-the-mill Levy being Levy, which I could understand when you do a Timo Werner loan deal for 12 months and you follow that up with an Archie Gray from the championship. But for me personally, I keep up with Leeds. I keep up with Leeds YouTube shows. Shout out Just Joe's football show. That's one of my Leeds channels that I keep very much in touch with. And, I was asking him today, what are your thoughts on Archie Gray to Spurs? And he said, first, I'm really excited that we said no to Brentford because he hates Brentford. And I don't know what the beef is between the Bumblebees and the Leeds, but he was like, if he goes to Spurs, I can actually root for him. But this is a player, and he said, and I quote, that I believe can be generational. When he reaches his ceiling, he can be generational. Now, even if that's not true, let's say he's just, hyping him up because that's a Leeds homegrown boy. That's like us sending Harry Kane to a bigger club, watching him grow beyond us. And for him to say that, that's pretty loud praise. But even if he doesn't hit that generational, I would say what's below that? Exceptional, world class. These are a few words you might throw underneath generational. If he's anywhere near and about there, then this is a fucking steal for 30, 35. If you can get it down to 25 plus an ollie skip the other way, talk to me nicely, Ash, we could be cooking with hot grease. But
this is it.
What are you saying?
It's like, raw, you know what? When you're looking at upgrades on some of the squad members, that's how you have to look upon it because, yeah, I hear what other fans are saying. Like, when you want to move the needle, is he that guy that's going to make us, contend and push? It does look like another club signing because he is young, he is English. We do have a problem with our homegrown quota, same as last year, but we've actually got rid of a few English ones. So Sessegnon being one. And then I've heard a comparison saying, Sessegnon was generational. When we got Sessegnon, he was tearing up the championship. Do you know what I'm saying? It didn't quite work out.
Yeah, that's my scab was finally healing, Ash. My Sessegnon scab, that road rash I got because I was like, I was in the side of this guy's gonna cook. I can't wait because I love pulling talent from the championship. Same thing with Sessegnon. I mean, this is not gonna be. I never heard anyone say Sessegnon could be generational. I heard that this guy could be the next big thing. They were talking about him, Mount, and Phil Foden, I think it was, or him, Sancho, and Mount, something like that. There's a photo I remember of Sessegnon,
Maybe Mount.
and like
maybe
two
Mount,
other English.
not folding quite yet.
There was
I think-
Mount or Bellingham. It was Mount and so it was Mount, Sessegnon, and someone else, and they were basically saying like these were the next big England stars, right? Obviously, Mount isn't. Sessegnon for sure isn't. But I just here, let me real quick. Let me say big up to Tom Martin. Member for 8 months. One more month, Tom Martin, and you and I are gonna have a YouTube baby, my friend. So I'm gonna give you some balloons for that. Congratulations. You almost having a baby. This is about what baby shower time. So I'm not. Give me the damn balloons, can you, camera? There we go. Come on.
in it. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
you gotta sometimes with back in our day, well, at least in mine, I don't know, I don't want to assume your age, but you're an old soul, and I imagine you were a young lad taking your games and
Yeah.
taking the TV, giving it a fucking
I talk about-
smack that fucking TV, you
know, you
naughty
said-
TV. Hey, yeah, yeah.
Take it out again. Double. Pause, but
Hey,
yeah.
hit it. Wait,
Hey,
Hawk
yo.
Tua?
Hey,
Hit him with the Hawk Tua?
Tua. Oh.
And spit on that thing. You get me?
That'd be fun. That was kind of abrasive, I understand, but I'm working in some new clips into the rotation. And anytime there's a Hawk Tua-esque, I got to bring out the Hawk Tua girl. Shout out to her. I really feel like she's united the society, much like the Tiger King did in lockdown. He brought everyone together for a common interest and a common acceptance. And I feel like Hawk Tua girl is our next Tiger King, so I stand with Hawk Tua girl. But big up Tom Martin. Evening, Jacob and chat. Hope all is well. Come on, you Spurs. Coys to you. TJ Warren, 7 months. 2 more months and you get a YouTube baby with me. You got to wait a little bit longer. So smash those likes for the entertainment, people. Come on, you Galapagos Islands. Come on, you Galapagos Islands, indeed. And if you are in the Galapagos, hit that like button. Big up TJ. If you are in Kansas, hit that like button. Yes, I know he ended up in prison, TJ. You fraud. All right? You absolute fraud. But we move. And big up to Galapagos Islands. Big up to Shamu Vandevoo. Member for 3 months. Hey, 6 more months, and then you're going to have that beautiful little YouTube bouncing baby. Big up Chewy in the corner. Can I get a woof woof? He's been doing a whole bunch of what I call the baka baka. He does this with his ears and it like... But big up Shamu, membership for 3 months. Appreciate the support, my friend. Big up to you. I'm going to do that. Big up to everybody in the chat. I see David Shear. I see El Tel Cocarel. I see a lot of people. But obviously now I've got a guest on, so Jacob's attention is going to be mostly given to the fine gentleman. I've got his wonderful time he's set aside for United Spurs of America. So hit the like for Ash. I will put Spurs Kings TV in the description of this video. So if you are watching back on playback, make sure that you have subscribed to Ash's channel. But I'm super far behind in the chat, so I'm just going to scroll to the bottom. I see Frank Marcel. How you doing? He says the dog is nice. Stefan Blois. How you doing? Toon Tactics in the house. Big up Toon Tactics. Hey, Archie Gray's phenomenal. Phenomenal. This is another word. Phenomenal. This is just below generational, but I'll take phenomenal. Talk to me about phenomenal. Hey, he's a 6. He's an 8. He's a 10. He's a 6. He's an 8. He's a 10. He's a 6. He's a 10. Hey.
Do my
He's a
little
6.
right
He's
now.
an 8. He's a 10. Hey. He's a 6. He's an 8. He's a 10. He's a 6. He's an 8. He's a 10. The only thing you don't want to be a 6, 8, and a 10 is your girl with makeup. But here we go. Sorry. Without the makeup, she a 6. She put a little work in, she an 8, and then she put the shoes with it. It's a 10. No, you don't want. But with Archie Gray, this is what Angel always says, right, Ash? I don't want a 6 or an 8 or a 10. A 6 or an 8 or a 10. Hey. He said, I want a midfielder who could do it all, baby. I need an all-encompassing.
No,
Yeah.
Hoffman. You want the full bang, the full shebang.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm talking about.
Going back to Archie Gray, like from what I've seen, because it's always hard to tell. I mean, obviously we've got emotional damage with the players. Emotional. I can't even do the accent, but yeah, we have like healing problems that we need to get over. And Angel always says you shouldn't look back, always look forward, my friends. Always look forward. And from what I've seen of the kid, looks kind of techie. Can't lie. So like in the fullback position, in the DM position, in the midfield position, and we've got like players like a Bergvall next to an Archie Gray, and they've all got similar first touch.
He's a
Someone
6,
tries
he's
to
a 8,
press
he's a
them.
10.
You know, they're not panicking. They're not rushing. They're not fumbling the ball. You know what I'm saying? They're not stealing the milk. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Obviously, they're young in it. So we're looking like, as my friend would say, Wonder Kids FC. You know what I'm saying? We're looking like Generation Spurs.
Hey, generational talent FC. Talk to me. Because that's what I'm hearing about Lucas Bergvall too. The man put on a baby blue sweater, and the internet lost their mind. They said this man's swag is through the roof. I was like, it's just a baby blue sweater. Is that all it is? You just got to be a handsome fellow wearing a sweater. Is that swag? I don't know. I'm getting old, Ash. I'm losing touch with mainstream society here. But I'm catching up in the chat. I'm seeing y'all. Big up Ronnie. Big up everybody. Look. I saw there was a Leeds fan in the chat. I want to say hello. Danny Talk Sport says, I'm a Leeds fan. Archie's going to be generational talent. This is so look, there's not just one Leeds fan. There's been fucking handfuls that tell me this guy's going to be generational. Again, even if they are overhyping one of their own, no one ever said, right? Like we all thought Skip could be a good player. And I thought Skip could be a good player after his championship season when he was a player of the season for Norwich. But obviously, it didn't really translate. But no one said Oliver Skip's going to be generational. No one said Oliver Skip was going to be the Busquets of fucking Tottenham, right? No, I don't think I've ever heard the correlation of really high raving reviews, but a lot of people saying generational. I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. As much as I want him to be generational, I hope they are right. Hey, talk to me. The tiramisu may be the best dessert.
Bro. We have to slow down. As fans, we need to keep it calm, keep a level head. But just to jump on, or not jump on, but piggyback from what you were saying, I think it's fair to say a lot of words have been banded out in the community. And one of the words is profile. Is he the right profile, the player? And when you go back to someone like Skip, we had Mourinho in charge, we had Conte in charge, and they both picked them up. They're world-class managers, they're elite managers, sorry. And when you look at the type of managers and type of players that they typically go for, I can kind of see why they want Ollie Skip. But if we're looking at Big Ange, I think he wants more technical players. He does want players with energy. That's one thing for sure. Box-to-box players that aren't fixated to a particular position. But I also think in terms of profile, does Archie Gray suit what Ange is trying to indoctrinate throughout his team? If he had somewhat of a blueprint, say, does those players manifest what he has going forward? So all Spurs fans know this is the style of play. Okay, this player will suit our team because he can play, as we said before, in multi-function. So I'm not going to get too ahead of myself in that respect and say like, oh, you know, Archie baby. It's a Bobo. Hi, Bobo.
Don't worry about her. Don't she?
Hey, Bobo. I ain't worried about her. Yeah. Hey, you see me? Uncle Ash. Uncle Ash.
Hey, she sees you.
She sees
you. Hey, big up Danny Talk Sports.
But yeah, man, I'm just saying, look, in terms of profile, if we're looking at a certain tech, a certain style of player, he fits right in. Do you know what I mean? And that's what we need to start doing as fans, not just looking at previous players and what they did before and judging that player based on what that other player could or couldn't do. Do you know what I mean? And I do hear it. Championships is a different level. Do you know what I mean? But if you're looking at just profiles, am I making sense by that when I say profiles? Does he suit the system? I think he does. Is he going to be a good squad rotation? I think he will. Will he start in our starting 11? I think in certain games he will start. And I think because we're playing more games, we're in Europe, we'll get to see some of these younger players a lot sooner. Clearly, we've had, academy players, they're going out on loan, like your Donnellys, etc. But I'm assuming that this kid's going to be better than them. Otherwise, Donnelly would be starting. So that's how I see it anyway. I could be wrong.
I agree. And that's kind of what I said in regards to I think there was a tweet that I bookmarked. I want to shout out David from the Irish Hotspur. I'm going to have him on sometime this week. He couldn't make it tonight. I invited him on tonight. He couldn't make it tonight. But there was he had mentioned something in the group chat, and he had also tweeted about us. You know, when he saw the news of us working on a deal, and we have lots of potential in our academy. The fact that we're doing this, you know, grading this 18-year-old, this is a disgrace. For me, I see it as like there's not a fullback in the academy, in my opinion, that can come in and genuinely challenge Pedro Porro. When Pedro Porro is having a spotty game, I feel like Archie Gray is actually someone who can possibly fill in. And if he's anything like what I'm led to believe, what I've seen, I've enjoyed as well. Again, it is a championship, but this team was just in the Premier League. He's not that far off of it. So for me, these academy kids, the gap between that and our 20, our 18, 20, whatever it is now, he closes that gap.
We played our academy played, I think, Colchester, which was League
Mr.
One.
Box Office, I sent you the link, by the way. Check your WhatsApp if you're still listening, Alex. I sent you the link.
We played Colchester, right? I think it was League One, and I think we got peppered by a League One team. So we've had some of our academy boys play in like League One and Championship. So we've got Phillips at the moment, and we've got Alfie Devine. He's in the Championship at the moment. And if those players were tearing it up, then I'm like, look, they're ready, in it. Do you know what I'm saying? That league's obviously too weak for them. So I'm all for seeing the academy players that we have at the moment go to Championship. Let's see what they're made of down there, because it's not an easy league by any stretch of imagination. So I want to see if they tear it up in the Championship, then fair enough. I think like, okay, they're ready for Prem ball. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. I think that's a fair and balanced opinion on it. And if Ange's seeing them in training, he's going to know whether they're ready for the actual step up. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And some of these players, maybe they need to be coached a little bit more. I think Ange is a bit like Conte in that sense, where he doesn't want players to coach. He wants players that are almost like ready to make that jump. Do you know what I mean? Because it's one thing having players that need to be coached. I don't see Ange in that way, like he would develop a player and improve them in that kind of context. What he might do is, guide them and say, look, when things aren't going too well, he might guide them and say, have that pep talk. Because I think a man-to-man manager, that's what he is. But in terms of like, if he wants to challenge for the title now, he kind of needs players to come in now. But who's to say? Because I think everyone's focusing really at the moment on the money. Because I thought myself, I said, look, I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw the price, I was like, oh, it's a bit steep. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I just think nowadays.
Originally, he was quoted around 60. Is what when we first got linked with him, the rumblings was around 60, and I was like, that's crazy for this. What I was told that he's going to be generational. He's this, he's that. And again, I casually watched him, meaning I didn't see not 50 of the 56 that he watched. That's not casual. That's adamant. I casually watched this guy. When I saw him as a left back, and thank you, Danny Talk Sport, because for weeks I thought I was fucking crazy. Because I was like, I checked his heat map when we got linked with him in the first time, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess he was right back. But I remember seeing him as a left back, and I liked him as a left back too. So if he's a guy who could potentially play left back or right back at any decency, then we actually do have a piece that is good for the squad. And this is what we're trying to build, in my opinion, as a squad. Now, again, the optics of doing this deal after a Timo Werner 12-month extension doesn't exactly make me think the meatball is super spicy. But we're still making the damn meatball right now, and this is probably could be a key ingredient to that, in my opinion. I was excited the first time we got linked with him. Again, the price tag put me off a little bit, but now we're talking 30, 35 plus sending someone the other way that we've been trying to get off of our books. Not even because they're making a big wage, but just because they're not good enough. Could he be better to our squad than Oliver Skip was? I think absolutely 110%.
Sorry to cut you. You know what it is? I don't really focus on the price too much anymore. I know it does affect maybe some of our other signings, and we have to be careful how we pick players. I think that's why the fan base is so like
I
on
invited
it.
box office, by the way. Y'all saying that you want box?
I know.
You want
I
box
know.
office? He's been invited.
I know why people are like so fixated on the price because they think it's going to affect our other transfers, which is important at the moment in terms of like if we want to be serious in this transfer window. Because obviously, you just said it from Werner to Archie, it's not sounding super ambitious, and but that's what it is. English tax, you're going to have to pay more, and the selling club seem to have the power, especially when the contract is not like 1 or 2 years left. We're going to have to stump up the money. I remember when we were linked with Grealish, we had to, and that was all those years ago. They were asking for 40 million, and we walked away from that. We were, at the time,
Yeah.
40 million nowadays would be like, I don't know, 80 million or 70 million or 60 million, maybe. Maybe I'm inflating it too high. But for someone that's not in the Prem, it's expensive. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I see why people are a bit like, right, hang on a second. That's a bit much for a youngster that's not even proven. He's not proven.
Hey, I forgot about Vuskovic as well. Another one of the ones for the future. And speaking of ones for the future, but instead of the future, it's actually right freaking now. You asketh, you shall receiveth. I saw someone in the chat, Jacob, why are you afraid to bring on Mr. Alex Box Office TV? And I got something to say to you who thinks I'm too scared to talk to anybody. I love me some Alex Box Office TV. And if you don't know Mr. Alex Box Office TV, you better get to know Mr. Alex Box Office TV, all right? Because there's no one like him, and there's never going to be another one like him. So you better appreciate the motherfucker while you got him. And so, scared to bring him on, I laugh at that. I haktua in your face at that. How dare you disrespect my legacy? I don't know if you ever played Donkey Kong back in the day. But anyway, this the blatant disrespect. You think I'm afraid of a guy that I call a friend? What is there to be afraid of? We might share some chats, share some laughs. What's more scary? I love opposing oppositions. I love people who believe in their opinions vehemently. They will say what they feel and think, regardless of what you feel or think that they should say. And I respect the fuck out of it. Whether I agree with what he says or whether I don't agree, irrespective of the point. So let's welcome on. That was a fantastic fucking intro. I cannot lie. Mr. Alex Box Office TV. What's up, Alex?
Zoom.
What's up, guys? What's happening?
How you doing?
Yeah, good guys. Big up Prismatic, yeah. Big up Jacob. Yeah, big up to your little one as well. Like, you know what I mean? I'll be
wife's
honest.
got her hands full. So
I'll be honest
this
with you.
thing
Don't take this the wrong way. I should never watch your show. I should have just gone straight to bed, and that's it. I should have just gone straight to bed because I should because I knew what I was like. I knew exactly when I saw Asthmatic and you were going to talk about this new signing we're getting and the signings that we're looking at the moment. I knew, and I wanted to do a show so badly. I just couldn't be bothered. I just couldn't be bothered because I just want to be on the beach. I can't be asked. I just can't be asked. But yeah.
Wait, you're going to the beach?
Yeah. I wish I was on the beach, Jacob. I really do. Because
toes in the sand, fingers in a martini.
So yeah. Because I don't want to. The thing is, though, you two had a good duo going, and I just thought, why do I want to ruin it for you guys? Because you two are having a good, nice conversation here. But I just sat there and thought, I've sitting and listened to a lot of people, and I'm just like, right, everything I said in June last year, and why I think Andrew's gonna walk next season is kind of showing me a lot what's going on right now, and I'd even base it on the transfer window. And if people think that this transfer window is going somewhere, I'm sorry, I don't know what else to say. And everything I said about arrogance and swag, look at what Bellingham was doing today. After I mean, I don't even know why I was watching it because I should have been on the beach again watching England. Yeah. But watching Bellingham, see, people are afraid of arrogance and swag. Look at Bellingham. He's got that in abundance. Absolute abundance. Yeah? When people talk about Teddy Sheringham, he had the arrogance, didn't he? Yeah. People are afraid of like arrogance. We got Romero. What has he got? You know what I mean? So I don't know what else to say. Like, you know what I mean? But now people starting talking like Mr. Box Office now, yeah, saying what Mr. Box Office was saying last season. You know what I mean? Yeah, the same things that I was saying last. You saw Jacob. You saw Asthmatic. Yeah, everyone was seeing what I said last season. Yeah. And they were having rinsing me to pieces, saying, "Oh, you're negative, run me out of shows, getting me off shows, and everything else." But now look at what everyone's now saying. Yeah, I'm sorry, I've got to be honest. I don't believe in this coaching staff at the moment. I'm really worried about it. I don't think Andrew's a very good coach. I'm standing by what I say.
Well,
coaching staff.
I don't want to. This is less about that and more about Archie Gray specifically.
Yeah,
I understand, like as a whole, this is sending you some kind of message. But for me, I just want to provide a counterpoint to some of what you're saying. Like being set to sign with someone doesn't mean that A, this is the only deal we have in the works, or B, that this is a final deal that he's actually going to be our player. He was here we go with Brentford, if I'm not mistaken, and about 5 hours later it was, no, he's not actually, and now Tottenham are. So things are very fluid and things change all the time, and I don't believe, I don't like what you said last year, to my knowledge, wasn't anything like that is that crazy, if I'm not mistaken. I don't understand what you mean exactly.
But yeah, because the people said I was absolute negative. I don't believe in Ange and everything else, and everything I've said, and I don't believe he's a good coach, Jacob. No, he's not, because no one improved last season. No one improved, right? If you talk about improvement,
a lot of players improved.
Wingers,
They did. What are you talking about?
No, they didn't. Pora didn't improve. Pora didn't improve. He can do more. He can do more.
We had. Let's just look at the first.
Look at Cavascalia.
Just real quick, Alex. Let's look at the first line. So Destiny, Van de Veen,
No.
Romero didn't improve. You tell me Romero didn't have a better season because people. Hang on, Alex. Because people last summer who were shitting on Romero, saying I'd take 40 mil for him right now if a club came in for him. Those same motherfuckers are saying, oh, if we sign Archie Gray, now we have no aspirations and Romero's gonna leave. Those same people that said they'd sell him for 40, you're telling me he didn't improve.
No,
Those same people who were shitting on him all last summer.
No, he didn't improve. He did improve.
He did. Poro, I would agree with you. He didn't impress me. Romero, that's a blatant lie. We upgraded at left back. We upgraded at left-sided center back.
I'm not talking about the players that we bought in. I'm not talking about the players that we bought in.
That's an improvement. That's an improvement on quality.
I'm talking about the roster that we had under Conte.
Is that an improvement on quality, though?
And improvement, right? Those players.
You're talking about improvement, taking steps forward, which is what we all want.
Improving their skills, improving what they did, right? If we're attacking team, right? The wing backs are not doing what they should be doing, right? Crossing the ball, taking on their man. I see Cavascalia.
That's your opinion, right? By the way.
Regardless whether it's my opinion, the truth hurts, Jacob, unfortunately, right? The fact is...
Your opinion doesn't equal truth, Alex. I love you, but I'm sorry. My opinions isn't truth. Ashmatic, as much as I love him, his opinions are not equal to truth. It is just that an opinion.
You can take it for what you're worth at the end of the day, yeah? I love you guys, mate, but at the same time, I'm going to tell it how it is, bro, right? Cavascalia for Georgia... Right, that
doesn't play for Tottenham. We're talking about improving Tottenham.
Regardless, mate. Right?
No, you brought up that we didn't improve, and I'm telling you you're wrong. And you're saying, "Oh, well, this is my opinion. That's the truth." Just hang on. Just run down this alley with me, because you opened this can of worms, and this is something that I believe is constantly not really refuted, and everyone just says, "Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, we didn't get top four, so yeah, we didn't do this, that." Like, look, I understand. Certain players not moving the needle. That's a phrase that Ash used when he first came on was, you see this and it's not like, wow, this is going to blow us away. But it is somebody that, again, you look at what those say around him, and that leads me to believe that my opinion on him isn't a final opinion on him. Their opinion on him isn't a final truth or opinion on him. So just a little caveat there. But also, I look at positionally, like, from the back four, where we were last year to the year prior, I think that's an improvement. Van de Veen's an improvement on Ben Davies.
Loads of goals.
Left backs have been improvement on Reguilon.
the back four that let in a lot of goals last season. Yeah, the back four.
They let in a lot of goals
past,
because they were getting beaten behind because of our. Hang on, but the reason I'm saying the reason that we let in all those goals, Alex, and then I want you to I want to hear you out on this. But I feel like the reason we let in all those goals is because in the final third, when we would do this, we would lose ideas and creativity in the final third, and we did the horseshoeing. And we do the horseshoeing until we make a mistake, and then 2 passes, and they're in behind, and it's one-on-one with Vicario. Yes, that is awful, but that is how a lot of those goals got to even happening in the first place. Like, set pieces were a problem in themselves, but tactically, if we were more creative in the final third, more decisive, and we actually scored, rather than 6 minutes 6:40, I think, versus Newcastle, it was, Timo Werner trying to do a volley when he had time to corral the ball, shoot it, corral the ball, pass it to Son, who also had space. But it's these moments, then we get caught out, boom, they go up 1-0. That doesn't happen if we are more clinical in the final third, more decisive and more creative. That's my point, is the defense looks a lot better. Like, there's a reason I feel like I don't think we have such bad defenders. It is ourselves letting us down when it's one-on-one, and it's every game is 1-2 passes and they're in behind us and they have a clear-cut chance. And they usually happen within the first 10 minutes of the game, if I'm not mistaken.
I agree with you about the attack. My thoughts on the front three. Right? Everyone knows my thoughts on the front three. If you don't watch Mr. Box Office TV, you would have seen that already. Yeah, and you've seen it on loads of other shows already last season. I'm not going to repeat that, because some people should have seen that already, right? But my point is, right, no one has improved, right? I'm sorry, he's not a good coach. We didn't have good coaches last season. We've got now, we've got this guy that's come up now, who's senior assistant now. We've got the 2 guys that come in now, and for me at the moment, I've read up on them, and I'm still skeptical. I'm still skeptical. I still need to see I need player improvement. Now, from what I've heard, this guy might be player improvement. Now, for me, with less time on the training ground at the moment, he's got to do all that in pre-season. Now, how are you going to do that when you've got Archie Gray, who needs improvement, Werner, who needs improvement, you've got Ramsey, who now looks like he's coming in, needs improvement. So to me, you need coaches right now, and for me, I don't see it. I do not see it. Pochettino was better than him all day long. And he's even going on now on shows now and saying, "Oh, we should play more youngsters at Southgate." What a hypocrite! What a hypocrite!
No, he's not a hypocrite.
No, he's a hypocrite. Why is he saying that for? And Postecoglou.
You're taking what he said out of context. No, in that regard. I want Ash to come in here. But what you're talking about is, Ash, what do you think about that? I mean,
I want to answer, but I want to go back a little step. And if I look at someone like Emerson Royale, I don't really, as a footballer, he looks more like an athlete as more than an actual footballer. And I think if Archie Gray comes in and Porro is not doing too well, I think Archie Gray is an improvement on an Emerson Royale. And so I said it before, the players that we're trying to bring in, they might not need that level of coaching that what Box Office is talking about, because before you need players that need to improve by a certain amount. Now, yes, Archie Gray will need some coaching. I'm not going to deny that, but I look for a base level, and if that base level, his first touch is good, he's checks his mirrors, he's on the half turn when he's getting pressed, he can beat that press, and then also, if you're a good footballer, it doesn't matter where you are on a pitch. It doesn't matter what position you play. That's the type of signing we kind of want. And that's what the kind of recruitment we want to bring in. So does he improve a Skip? Does he improve Emerson Royale? I'm hoping, yeah. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm not saying definitely he will. But if the level is higher enough, a bit like when Conte came in, he looked at the academy, he said, it's just not good enough. Do you know what I mean? I need to buy outside. I think Ange is doing that, but he's being a little bit more diplomatic about that, rather than saying the academy shit. You know what I'm saying? And upsetting the whole Spurs fan base. He's pretty much trying to get players that are ready to start in our 11 or add to the actual squad that we have. So, but in terms of what like Alex is saying, I'm not gonna disagree and say like, Ange is this amazing coach where he improved Bentancur's level. Bentancur's a bad example, but he massively improved Basuma. He massively improved Sarr. He improved Madison, because that was the midfield that kind of let us down, going forward. I just think throughout the season, I look at things called like tempo. I look at like how the game's going, game state, mentality of players. Some of those things were missing. We were missing a lot of energy in that midfield at times. And I think that's what lost us games, because we ran out of ideas. And then ultimately, teams were like, yeah, we're going to create a chance and we're going to take our chances. And that's why I didn't look so good, because the players that we had in that position, they had no other players to come on and challenge, or the front three. At the moment, I haven't seen who we're linked with in terms of the front three other than Eze. I don't know if we'll get him or not. I'm just saying, if someone comes of quality in that front three, then maybe we have a different conversation. But right now, it's still early. People aren't really doing business until the Euros are over or the Copa America is over. So I'm still holding back. But I do hear what Alex Box Office is saying about,
I think he's a good man manager. I think he's a good man manager. I'll give him that. He's a good man manager, right? Because he can make anyone believe, because he's got the Tottenham fans believing, right? He's not got me believing, because I'm not a sucker. I'm sorry, but my feelings on Ange, right?
I don't think if you believe in it, by the way, that makes you a sucker. I think that
But Jacob, I'm not saying that to be disrespectful to you. I've got respect for your opinion. I've told you already. So it's not, I'm just saying it how I feel anyway. You know what I mean? So it's not,
you need time. Like some people don't need time. Like Alex will need that more convincing, basically.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair. I've always said that, like, there's nothing wrong with taking your time to buy into something. Like, some people, it takes them weeks to buy a new car or lease a car, right? And others, they're like, they show up at the lot, they see a couple, I like this one, bang, that's enough. It's different strokes for different folks. So I would never say what someone believes is necessarily right or wrong for this or that. And I started this comment because Graham Pennant was trying to get my attention earlier. It says, Jacob, you don't even know where he plays. That's wrong. I've said that I've seen him play as a left back and a right back, and that whenever I looked at his heat map, it showed that he primarily played as a right back last year for Leeds. So then that's when I was like, did I really see him as a left back? Because again, I casually watched Leeds. That's what I said. And then you said that I still call him generational. Graham Pennant, learn to listen. All right? You got 2 N's, 2 T's in your fucking name, and you can't pay any attention.
Ooh.
What are we talking about? Now, if somebody would say you're a happy clapper, you get angry. That's because you're a fucking liar. I get angry about liars. I've said this everywhere I've gone. You a liar, that makes me angry. So if you wanted to make me angry, congratulations. You lied on my name about 2 different times in one stupid ass sentence. So if you're still here, you can fucking hold that with both your hands. But I'm gonna go back to something about the improvement of players, and I am talking about bringing in players, because that is an improvement on a player, in my opinion. You bring in a Van de Veen, that is an improvement on a Longley. You bring in Destiny, which was a deal that we did, the loan back deal, irrespective of it last year. That was an improvement on what we had at the left back, Reguilon, Davies, etc. So for me to say that we haven't improved is just not really a fair representation of the past, in my opinion, because I look at the first thing that I wanted the first replacements on, and it was them fucking center backs like Eric Dyer, Longley, Sanchez, and guess what? Those 3 names aren't fucking here at this club. That is a win as well. There's a lot of things that we've improved, as well as the amount of money we spend on players that don't even fucking play for our club. 200,000 for Tongi Ndombele, 180,000 for Perisic. That's just in a week. 380,000, damn near $500,000 in a week for 2 players that didn't even contribute to us last year. That is an improvement again. And just because, Kane to Richarlison, that is a steep drop off. That is a non-improvement. I agree. Brennan Johnson, that is not an improvement to me. Timo Werner, that is not an improvement to me. So Alex is not wrong again whenever he says that he feels like there's not been improvements. I'm just pointing out for me that I think that there has. Romero, for one, as a player, performance-wise, stepped up immensely and was a lot better. Son had a bad year last year. He wasn't great this year, but he was much improved. These are James Maddison. And I saw another comment that brought up Basuma and Madison, that he didn't improve those players. He had those players playing out of their fucking skull for 10 games, and then they fell off. It wasn't the tactics that fell off. Why are they able to do the tactics for 10 games in a row very, very well, and then not when they come back from X, Y, or Z? That's my point.
I'm talking about player development now, Jacob. As a player developed, I don't think he's improved them. Right, for the time frame he's had with those players, the whole season, right? There's been times when he's had 2 weeks with them. Right.
So did Basuma have a better season with Conte and Stellini and Mason, or with Ainge? Basuma. Yeah, and I'll throw Sarr out there. I'll throw Romero out there.
I would say no, because in my eyes, right?
So Basuma did more under Conte than he did under Ainge. I don't believe that. That's just not true.
My point is to get to yes or no question here, right? To say yes or no on this question, I say no, because in my eyes, for me, a player to develop, they are better than what they were last season. Much better, right? Where I can look at it, I don't need stats to see. Oh, I need to see GA, because this is where I'm switching off completely now, right? Because when I say people like Kvaratskhelia, right, I don't need stat to tell me how much GA he's got, because I can see it. I'm sorry. When I'm seeing what Basuma's doing, I don't see it.
So the GA applies in that instance, but not whenever you bash Brennan Johnson. I don't even like Brennan Johnson, but he had good GA last year. That's my point about GA.
I don't want to listen. I don't want to leave it. I don't consider GA, because if we're going to talk about GA and facts, we can talk about how many trophies he won.
But you just used GA.
That is 0. So that's a fact.
But you just used GA. That's why I brought it up.
No, but I'm saying, because this is what I keep on hearing. This is the rhetoric we hear now in 2024. Right? I'm trying to keep calm, because I know your little child's beside you. But I'm trying to say.
No, I'm baby free. You can say whatever you want. Plus, also I got you right here. So even if she was here, she couldn't hear you. I've said outlandish. I've done watch-alongs with her in my arm. I've said things no child should be hearing. But we move. It's for the content.
I want to try and keep it brief. Yeah, go on.
I just no. I was gonna sorry to interrupt. I was gonna say, like, both can be true, because I've seen players that are absolutely aesthetically so pleasing to the eye, but then the end products, they're not getting in the back of the net. They're not like creating quality chances for the teammates. But I might fancy them as a player, and I'm like, bro, you know what? There's a player in there, but for whatever reason, it's not working. I like both to be true, because I want proof in the pudding. And I want to be able to see that's a player as well. But I hear what you're saying, box office, about you don't need to see the GA of Kvaratskhelia, because you could just see the quality of him. He's just a quality player. He's a game that can maybe change things if Spurs got that type of quality of player. Can Spurs attract a Kvaratskhelia? Money does talk. I don't know. That's debatable. I don't know if he would come to us.
He ain't playing any European ball in Napoli. None. Not even conference.
He's not
even the lowest woe.
I would love it if the club will go for that type, that ilk of player, that someone that's got that amount of quality, someone that can change the game just through his quality. But I don't know. I'm not so optimistic as a fan to think, you know what, we could shop at these type of markets. We do have the money, but whether we can pull them like to come, I'm just not too sure. I'm like, I reckon if we threw a bid for Kvaratskhelia, for example, I'm just hypothetically, I just feel like a Liverpool, an Arsenal, you know what I'm saying? A Chelsea, like how many teams need that left-sided side player sorted out? Loads of teams.
So technically, we don't need a left side. I mean, Son's not going anywhere. Even if anyone wanted him sold, we all know he's not leaving.
We do and we don't. We're kind of stacked in that area, but at the same time, you look at Werner and you're like, hopefully we can get a player that kind of pushes him out. You know what I'm saying?
Can I just say something? Just come back to people, because I see people in the chat saying, "Oh, well, some players just don't fit a system." Right? Top players fit in any system. I'm sorry. This rhetoric of saying, "Oh, we don't fit in this system. We don't fit in."
What about the England team? Do they fit in that system?
I'm sorry.
Talk about system. Talk to me about Southgate's system.
I can't hear.
Do all those world class players?
It's like this whole thing about this number 6 thing about, oh, we need this number 6. We need this. We need this. Honestly, one person says it, Tottenham fans jump on it, and it's like people even said Ange doesn't play a number 6. So it's like, again, it's down to, again, coaching to make these players better. Someone said that Romero, right, could play number 6. I think he can play number 6. I can think he can play number 6. Why is it Ferguson right? Can't get into the team, and he plays
Because he's not better than Romero or Van de
Well,
Ven.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He should be competing again and again. I keep on
Wait,
hearing.
but just
I keep on
wait.
hearing-
I've heard this a lot though, Alex. I do want to stop you there a little bit, and I want to know Ash's opinion too, because I just heard yours on it. This whole let's change our entire formation because Dragusin did good in the Euros is crazy to me. Like if he's good enough, he will start over Romero or Van de Ven. Like that's just the way I see it. And again, Ainge already said why he didn't get in sooner and why Van de Ven wasn't put at left back sooner. But all that's just forgotten because Romania they won top of their group and he is doing really well in the Euros. And I love the prospect of Dragusin. But using that as a stick to beat Ainge with is fucking weird to me because again, you're gonna say, oh, Timo Werner is his signing, then Dragusin is, and now you want Dragusin, but Ainge also has no talent ID. I don't understand. It's just like there's a faction of the fan base. It's just always, oh, I want it this way. And it's like, bro, there's the back of the hand too. Like there's a whole side of the hand that we're forgetting about. And I get twisted up on it because like, I agree with you. Dragusin is a good talent. I would like to see him. But talking about moving Cuti Romero into an entirely different role and then just so we could shoehorn a guy in there, that's playing favoritism. Because again, it's the whole notion of if he's good enough, he will play. He would start over these other players if he was better than them. I just think that he's not better than Van de Ven. He's not better than Romero. If Udogie goes down, sure, shift Van de Ven out to the left, then Dragusin can play. But changing to a back three with two wing backs completely changes the way that we're set up. Now, I'm not saying that if Ainge did that, I'd be completely against it, but to say that, oh, because he didn't do something that I'm suggesting, therefore he's X, Y, and Z, I don't understand it. But big up a user for the super chat. I almost bypassed it, but thank you so much for being a sponsor of the show. It says big up Jacob, box office Ash. Hope you're keeping well. Ash, what do you think of the whole like let's change it because Dragusin's good enough to be playing and he should be playing? To me, that's just if he's Lionel Messi, sure, but is he Lionel Messi?
You know what it is? There was a time in the season where I felt like the midfielders weren't really performing. And I remember when Maddison first came back against Man City, and I think Udogie was missing, and we had someone else at left back, and he was trying to get into the rhythm. But he was saying he's used to seeing Udogie in that particular position where he had another player there, and he was kind of getting in his way. So the flow was a bit off when he first came back, but he said, oh, I just need to get back into the rhythm of things, and then it will start ticking over. But there was a point when it just wasn't working, and I thought, you know what? Go into a back three at this particular time when I was watching Spurs, for me, only made sense because I thought, all right, you allow your wing backs that we actually bought in to become actual wing backs rather than allowing them to invert. With the back three, Romero used to play at not Udinese, sorry, I forget the team, Atalanta. He used to play in the back three for Atalanta. And so when you play with a back three and you've got Romero in the middle, what you're saying is we're no longer using the defensive midfielder. You're allowing your 2-8s to be more front-footed in the attack and you push them forward. And you're allowing Romero to do the dog work and just kind of stop anything from coming in. Because we were quite open at times where like we played quite expansive football, front-footed, and those channels kept getting hit. Now, when you've got Van de Ven on the left side as a centre-back, and then you've got Dragusin, who's not slow, by the way, as a right-sided centre-back, they could cover the channels. And those where we were getting hit, like Wolves hit us, Brentford hit us. There was loads of teams that hit us in those channels. But when you've got three defenders, you've got Van der Ven covering that space, you've got a Dragusin on the right-hand side covering that space, then all of a sudden we look less vulnerable. I hear the argument what you're saying, though, Jacob, because when you've got a 6, and I think this is how Ange sees it, he kind of wants his 6 to be a deep lying playmaker. And that's why you're seeing Maddison drop in all the time, because we haven't got a player in that ilk that can do those balls over the top, switches of play, open teams up when they're centrally compact, when they're hard to break down. So I just wanted to see a change or a tweak, not a whole change into the system, but just a small tweak at times in games. And I think
he's done that.
I think, yeah, he did do that. But I thought like with the players that we had at our disposal on the bench,
it was harder to do that. Yeah.
I thought our strengths were more or less our back 4 or the back 3 or the back 5. That was the strength. and the midfield less so. So why not make the 2-8s rather than make them drop, pick up the ball, keep the 2-8s up there? Do you know what I'm saying? And then they can play in between the lines, and then we can fire the ball to the front three quicker, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of hear both sides. Like, I get it both. I've been frustrated on both ends. Like,
I think our wing backs are better.
It's a great debate to have. I just prefer Maddison higher up the pitch, and I'm sure a lot of people do. But I do get why he tries to click the ball off the centre back, the full back, and he's trying to dictate from deep. A bit like, I don't know if you lot watch Germany and you watched what the Real Madrid player Cruz does. He actually turns into a left back, picks the ball up, and then he fires the balls into like Martiala or Wirtz. Like, he does those diagonal balls or the balls over the top, or he just does low balls. And he's the one that kind of takes the responsibility. That's what Maddison was doing. But we just didn't have another player in front that could hurt the opposition and, you know, break that back line, if I'm making any sense. Sound like I'm waffling now, but
I think Poro and then Doji should be more wing backs, right? Going down the wings, and they'll get better, right? They'll develop better. You saw later on in the season, last game of the season, you started to see a little bit more of Poro doing what he should be doing, right? And he's got a shot on him as well, right? A Doji as well. All they're doing is inverting, trying to do this invert, and it's really infecting them. And I'm sorry, it is affecting Maddison. I think, and this is not my point, by the way. This is someone else's point. Yeah, it's actually Dan's point, to be fair. And I think Dan's made some very good points here. But it's actually hurting us massively as well. And another point as well. This is not my point. This is actually the Irish Hotspurs point, because I had a good conversation with him on the phone today. Right, with Archie Gray, we're getting all these youngsters in. We're completely annoying the youngsters that we're supposed to be calling the class of 92 youngsters. Yeah, right. And all we are doing is like what we've seen with one.
So, what fullback youngster would you like us to promote rather than let Archie Gray be that guy?
You tell me, because at the moment I was told
there isn't one. There isn't one. I'm telling you right now, there isn't one. I watch the youth as much as they allow me to on Spurs play, and there's not a fullback in this squad that can play left or right that I say, yes, let's give him a chance. That's why fucking Emerson Royale is still there, because he is even better than those fullbacks, even though we all say he's so bad. This whole like, who called him the class of 92? Is it because we won the thing? We won
the class of 92.
You know our fans are,
was that you, Ash? Did you call him the class of 92?
You know who said it. You know who said it. They called him the class of 92. I mean,
who did that? Who said that?
We've got Dorrington. If Dorrington's this great defender, why can he not play? You're telling me he's not better than Emerson Royale then? If he's not better than Emerson Royale, I'm very, very worried. I'm very, very worried.
We are. Archie Gray's way better than Emerson Royale. I guarantee that. I'll put my house on it.
That's not really a great level, though, isn't it? Really, Jacob. Let's be honest.
But that wasn't my selling point. I just used that because we were talking about Emerson. My whole selling point was that the hour before all this, where I was talking about when we were first linked with him. I thought the price tag was crazy, but I heard great things about him all season. When I watched him, I saw him perform well at the left back, and Leeds people will back me up on that. He played well at the left back and the right back. Again, the level is championship. So it is. Oliver Skipp made it in the team of the season when he was into Norwich. When he was at Norwich, he made team of the season. So again, Alex isn't completely off his rocker when he says, is this really the thing? But I think it is one of those. I know, how many years have we done this? Oh no, this guy, he can improve and reach X level or Y level. But for me, personally, I've gotten it wrong. I've gotten it right. But Archie Gray, us saying we are set to sign him, I am more happy about that than I am about not doing it. Like, if we weren't to do it, I absolutely loved it. And then we were talking about Vanderson, whom I've never watched, but people were like, oh, yeah, Vanderson, yeah, we like him. But I don't know anything about him, so I couldn't really offer an opinion there. Archie Gray, I like that signing, I'll be honest. The optics of it being after Timo Werner's not good.
But then to end my point, Jacob, sorry to interrupt you. To end my
no,
point,
go ahead.
The reason why I'm saying all of this is it's leading to why I feel the way I feel why Ange is leaving at the end of the season, or even at the end of the other season, because I don't see the correlation, because I don't know what the board are saying. Like I said before, no one's heard from Scott Munn, no one's heard from Andy O'Hanlon, no one's heard from the club. What is their expectations, right? But I'm hearing from Ange saying he wants to win the league. So the two don't match at the moment. The two don't match.
Do you think that because those guys, I know like Lange, she doesn't seem like a vocal like the guys you're talking about, they don't come across as like charismatic or not even charismatic, but because you don't need to be charismatic to open up and speak and say where the club is going, etc. But I felt like they were using Ange to be like more or less the mouthpiece, like to be the spokesman of the club, to be like the person that says he's meant to be the one that changes the culture. So when he says like we're going for the league, we're going for titles, and I need to change the mentality of the fan base. He constantly said that I need to change the fan base mentality is wrong at the moment, and it's on me. I need to do that. I've still got a lot of work to do. And I remember him being ultra frustrated at times with not just us, even the club. But I feel like he's doing two jobs at the moment, trying to convince the fan base externally, and internally he's trying to convince the team that is around him. Because remember that when that one of the people were joking about Man City, Arsenal not winning the league, blah blah blah, and he was getting so angry. He was like, "We need to focus on us. Why are we focusing on what Arsenal are doing? We need to be focusing on us, and that's the only way we can move forward." But it'll be interesting to see what happens, like moving forward, if Ange gets the players he thinks he needs to move his club in the right direction.
He won't get the players he wants. He will get the players that the club will working with, and that's it at the moment, right? That the players the board will be able to afford, and that's it. He won't get the players he wants. He might get certain things that will fit to his system, and that's it. So then it will be work on him to do things that he can do, which maybe overachieve what managers have to do to overachieve with Tottenham, right? Because at the end of the day, Tottenham are a 5th to 8th place team, right? That's it, right? If we can try and get closer to Man United and the top teams like Man City, the Arsenals, the Liverpools, and try and compete there, we will be overachieving. But when we try and get to that level, we're not in that level, because we don't. When we get to that level, we get dizzy heights because we're not used to that sort of expectations. You know what I mean? That's why we end up failing.
Sorry, box office cut you. Do you think Ange would do better at a bigger club, for example, like a Liverpool?
Well, maybe, yeah, because the thing is, though, because the expectations is already there. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, and this is the thing is you've got players there have already achieved as well. When you come to our club, you've only got one or two that have achieved what they've achieved at the moment. You know what I mean? So they've got that feeling of winning trophies. You know that arrogance about them. You know what I'm saying? What's going on here? You know what I mean? I'll do whatever it takes to win. You know what I mean? But at the moment, we've just got nice players, very nice players at the moment, right? We complain about Bentancur, but you can see the guy's got arrogance. We complain about Romero. Some people complain about Romero's a bit.
But when you say Squine's got arrogance, because Vicario's got arrogance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's about arrogance. Sometimes you need arrogance.
Said so. That's 3 players already that have got arrogance. That's going to be in a dressing room that are kind of firing up. Because you need balance. I think you need balance. I think you can't have everyone that's arrogant, because then they're going to clash, innit? Because I'm arrogant, you're arrogant. Imagine we were all like arrogant on this panel. No one will get a word in. No one would have. You kind of need balance and harmoniousness in the actual dressing room, where you've got some people that are going to talk up, some people that are listeners, some people that are more like, get the team together. So, but I hear what you're saying. I agree, like, because sometimes you do need that kind of on the pitch. For me, like, it's more about what happens on the pitch, not just off the pitch. Because off the pitch, you could be a nice guy, whatever, but I need you to be a bastard on the pitch. Do you know what I'm saying? I need you to be a killer. Because
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Asthmatic. That's the thing. It's just there's lots of things there, but I'm seeing the same things, and I'm just like, please don't tell me. And again, it goes back to what I said before. When I don't hear anything from the board to say what is the plan, and they're not backing Ange publicly, not saying, oh, we've got our Tottenham back. Don't tell me to back anything.
Hasn't Ange said the plan though?
Well, Ange is not enough. Ange is not enough. I'm sorry, Asthmatic. Ange can't do this on his own. I'm sorry. He can't do this on his own. He needs He needs the same thing that's happened with Arsenal at the moment. Because Arsenal have shown us leadership. I'm sorry. And at the moment, with the signings that we're doing at the moment, the way
What does
that
Arsenal
things are going
want,
at the
though?
moment, pardon?
Why is that? Why are we saying that they set anything? I ain't seen them. They lived just as much as Tottenham last year, year before. They lived just as much as us, but we're saying that they set some kind of standard. I understand when we say, oh, the city's what we're chasing. Yeah, they won some shit. But like United won 2 cups in 2 years and they're not happy because of their standard. But we're saying our standard is now what? To get second place 2 years in a row and win no competition?
I'm not saying
Because
that.
if
I'm
Ainge
saying-
did, hang on, no, if Ainge did what Arteta has done, no one would be saying we set the bar for anybody. We'd be saying we fucking failed, which I would agree with because we would have failed if that's the case. But my point again, like I agree, it's Ainge's first season. Was it perfect? No. But it was a vast improvement on the season prior. And I would say even probably the season before that as well with Nuno.
We had no expectations.
Felt
We had no expectations last season. We had
That's fair.
absolutely no expectations.
That's fair.
No
right.
one expected.
I didn't have an expectation for Ainge. You are right.
So that's the thing. It's on this season, and another thing as well. Arsenal have shown leadership by sticking with their manager through hard times, right? Through every fan saying Arteta out. I'm not going to say what I've said already because everyone knows what I've said already about this, and now everyone's copied what I've said now. Right, since after Arsenal fans saying Arteta out, they stuck with their manager regardless what the fans think. They got them to shut up, right? And now they're backing it because they're sitting there saying, "Well, whatever we say, they're not moving." And they did after.
So what if that's what we're trying to do?
No, yeah, but Jacob, by what? By what? That needs to be proven. We've got now people.
I agree. It does need to be
back
proven.
the process and just not say anything. Yeah, no. I'm not making it easy for these owners getting my money. No, if I'm gonna say Ange out, okay, cool. What are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna stick by your man then? If it goes wrong, because at the moment, if he gets his signings, pressure's on him straight away. Yeah, when Arteta got his signings, they still stuck with Arteta. My point being, yeah, right. You change a culture. You show leadership. You show you're going to stick with this guy for 4 years, right? At the moment, I've got no proof this is not working because at the moment, I don't know what Tottenham are doing. I don't even know what Tottenham are all about anymore. By those signings, you're telling me what are Tottenham all about by those signings, by the way, bro? Tell me where we're going with this. Tell me.
With Van de Ven and Vicario, I think those are 2 good signings. Madison's not a bad signing. I think there still needs to be some kind of improvement there. But if we got Archie Gray, which we've all said we need a guy, either in the midfield, even if you see him there. For me, I see him as a fullback option. And we all know that we need a fullback option when Poro's not good or Destiny's not good. So for me, that clears up one of my asks. It's one of my shopping items. Now, is it the order in which the grocery store I would have preferred us to shop? No. I prefer maybe we hit the meat section first, then we hit the bread section, and then we come back to the dairy. But instead, we're going dairy, candy, then pasta. Then it's just the order's a little bit. But if the window closes, Alex, and Archie Gray is our best signing we're looking forward to, then I agree. I would say Alex has been right this whole time. Nothing has changed. Everything is as he says. We are fucked, and beyond what I comprehended. And I will absolutely concede that because that will be like red alarm alerts. Like I'm talking about, I might even have to fly out to the UK and scream at people, just fucking motherfuckers as they drive by, and they're like, "What's that guy doing? Fuck you!" I'll be pissed, but I don't believe that that's going to be the case. If Archie Gray is just a part of our transfer window, when we look back and we say, let's just dream for a second. We got Eze, we got a striker option that makes us excited, like Tony or whoever gets everyone's fluids moving. And you get another midfielder that can legitimately start over Basuma or Sarr. Well, then we're looking at a point where that's 3-4 players that can directly affect our 11, which is what we need. And so I feel as though we can do that. This is, again, we haven't even bought in the motherfucker. We're just set to, he's giving us the green light. It's green light go, if you know the show. But I'm again, Oh no, this is a deal that for me, I like it. I'm excited about. I don't like the optics of it being after a 12-month extension of Timo Werner. That doesn't really scream that we are like trying to go all out. But you know what? Sometimes the quietest man in the room's got the most to say.
I think also,
And that could be what we're doing.
I think you're right about the optics. I think had we signed like quality before Archie Gray had come in, then you can more or less swallow it, if that makes sense. But for it to be a money signing and it's from the Championship, it doesn't kind of sit well with a lot of fans in terms of ambition. And obviously our board have got previous, let's face it, that's what it is. So like it feels like, oh, are we moving in the right direction? Are we moving forward with that type of signing? There's question marks. There is. Generational is pretty much down to the actual person's opinion. It's subjective. It's not a reality yet. We don't know. We don't know what we're getting with it. We don't know if we can handle the Premier League, because he might not. He might come to Spurs, and he might struggle. You just don't know. These are valid questions that a lot of fans have, and then you're starting to think, are we really backing Ange? We spent a big portion of the money. That fund could have gone to someone else. That could have been quality, like, you know, I'm not going to say Kvaratskhelia, but a Kvaratskhelia type of player. Do you know what I mean? In a position, we all know where we suffer in the front three and in the midfield. That was what was lacking last season. Do you know what I mean? And we're spending a big chunk of it basically on a fullback.
Yeah, let me just say this. Yeah, it's not. I think we'll get better signings than what we're getting at the moment. I think we'll get signings that will help us. I think we'll get more in the transfer window. Like I said, it's not based. My opinion is not based on this transfer window. It's going forward. What's going to happen at middle of the season, end of the season, and that's it. So, but from what I've seen right now, it's kind of just making me. What are we as what are we trying to do? What are Tottenham at the moment? What are we as a club at the moment? That's what I'm trying to figure out at the moment. That's what I'm trying to understand at the moment. And
you mean by style? That what you mean?
We don't know who we are. We don't know who we
are.
are.
Stylistically, is that what you mean? Stylistically?
Yeah. What we are and what do we want to achieve? What do we want to do in the next 5 years? What do you want to do? Because because without no one saying anything from the club and just hearing from Ange, I've got nothing to go on. That's what I'm trying to say at the moment. That's what I'm saying. So that's why that's where I'm at the moment. So I'm not saying we're not going to do better than what we're doing at the moment. That's not the case. I just think long-term wise, I'm waiting to see whether they prove me wrong at the moment. And at the moment, I can't. I'm not going to be proven wrong in my eyes. I'm sorry. I can just see him getting fed up and just leaving. And I don't know about the coaching staff either. And
I agree with you there. If Ainge feels like he is not getting what they had previously agreed to behind closed doors, which none of us are privy to, then I believe him to be the type of man who would walk away. He walked away from the Australia team after he got them qualified just as a fuck you. You know, like, oh, you said I couldn't do this shit. I did it, but now go get yourself a manager. So to me, he would walk if the situation isn't what he was previously agreed to. That's my opinion and my assumption on what he would do. So take that for what it is. And see, this whole Ainge is a yes man. Tottenham debate master, you've been crying about send me the link, and then you say stupid shit. This is why I don't. All right. I don't know you. You say dumb stuff in the chat, and it's just like, you don't know Ainge. You say Ainge is a yes man. You don't know that. Where's the proof? Because he said yes to something? I'm sure you've said yes. When mommy says, oh, Tottenham debate master, you want oatmeal for breakfast? You say, yes, mommy, please, with more milk this time. All right, so let's just, easy now. Now I'm going to say this as well. I want to close with this thought. So, where was that comment? There was a comment. It got buried. Oh. Stoke-on-Trent, Spurs fan, Coys, says, I can see us getting Gray and Gibbs White and Eze and a forward. Watch this space. Now, if we end our window with a Gray, a Gibbs White, an Eze, and another forward, I'll ask this both of you, and then we'll round things out. Ash, I'll throw it to you first. Would you be excited? Do you think that we've closed the gap? Do you think that we're still the same old Spurs, like what, you know, everyone's alluding to. Well, not everyone, but factions are alluding to, that we're still doing the bargain basement buys, typical Levy, you know, kind of the things that we've been doing for the last 20 years?
I think that there will be improvement. I don't know how great, because everyone else will improve as well. The clubs around us, they're going to make some improvements as well. I'm slowing down on the Eze train. I'm slowing down. I'm not like, I do like him as a player. He's a player I really love. The problems I see, and the reason why I'm slowing down is I just need to see it first. I need to see him holding up the shirt. Until then, it's like there's other clubs in for him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
And that's a good thing that they're in for him, because I think that would cause us a little fire under our butt, and then that would also, you know, show that, again, if this club's in for a player, he might not be half bad. If Real Madrid's snooping around for Christian Romero, he must have done something all right last season, right?
Yeah, 100%. But I just think the problems for me is like we look very open at times, and I'm not sure how we're going to address that moving forward. I would like to see, and I know you said it before, Ange did tweak things in game. He did make some changes with substitutions, but I still see that kind of flaw where teams were quite exposed. So improving the attack, because we are an attacking team now. If we improve the attackers and we start taking our chances, we score goals, then we're going to win more games. It's as simple as that. And the more games you win, the more confidence you get. Football's a simple game. So, we will close the gap. What we would do domestically, I don't think we would necessarily win a cup. Lots of people are expecting a cup win. I don't potentially see it for this season. I know Ange wants to compete, but I think I'll give him another season on top.
Yeah, I've always said, I mean, this guy came into it, like, Ash, I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to caveat what you're saying. When Ainge arrived at Tottenham, what did he walk into? What did Conte walk into? What did Nuno walk into? What did Jose Mourinho walk into? These are the questions I ask, because those are the last 5 managers I can think of. And he walked into a situation where we had a bunch of players we wanted to get out, and a lot of those names are gone. This is a part of the cleaning out process, in my opinion. It's never it's like losing weight. You know, I'm a big chunky man now because I got married, had kids. Now you catch my ass laid up on the couch enjoying myself. And if I want to lose weight, and then in the first month of me starting this thing, i.e. the window opening, and in the first month, I'm like, I've lost 1 pound, and I've put in all this work, all this hope, and all this drive, and I'm eating good, and I've lost only 1 pound, that'd be pretty demoralizing. But I think, again, you got to take a step back and say, what are we hoping Ainge does? And for me, it was transform this team into fucking winners from losers. And I think that he has that kind of mentality. Jose had it, Conte had it, that they could get us to that point. Now, they all left screaming because they're used to the silver spoon, and we gave them a fucking wooden spoon that has splinters in it and said, eat up, son. And Ainge is a guy who's willing to eat out of that kind of wooden spoon. So my point is, he came in and he's been cleaning up, getting some new in, getting some bad out, and let's go again. And honestly, to get Europa football without fucking Kane, when Kane was here, we didn't get any European football. That is a very simplistic way for me to say that that's all right by me too. But sorry, Ash, I didn't mean to cut you off before you.
Fine. I just wanted to clarify also, even though I don't expect him to win a cup in this next season, doesn't mean I'm giving them leeway, because I will judge Ange in this season. I will judge. Last season, like you said, and Alex alluded to, like most fans did, we gave him a free hit. He did say, "Judge me in my second year." You know what I mean? So that's what I'll be doing. We'll be judging you in your second year, and then I'll take it from there. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm just gonna try and slow down and be a little bit more methodical if I can. In this season coming ahead, because as I said before, Man United are improving, Chelsea are improving. I know they got Chelsea got a new manager, but yeah, Arsenal is still there, City's still there, Liverpool will be Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? They're not going nowhere. And then you look at the Newcastles and Aston Villas. Like, people are really writing off Aston Villa. I'm not, because they got Champions League. So what? I'm still looking at them. So, but we move, man. We move.
Yeah. What about you, Alex? I think the names were Eze, Morgan Gibbs White, Gray, and then another forward. And let's just say a 50, 60 million rumored forward like a Jimenez or Tony or whatever, would you feel like what players, do you have any names what would it take for you to feel like we are doing what I feel like we're doing and taking steps forward, which is, in my opinion, again, we talk about catching up to these teams that are fucking full sprint being carried by a chariot, and we are starting the wheels rolling, and that's a slow process, in my opinion. What would it take for you to feel like we are starting to move in a direction that we can catch them? What players? Do you have 3 names, 4 names, or the aforementioned names? Do they work for you? What would you think about that?
I think at the moment, to satisfy, for a start, because it won't change my mind at the moment because it's a long term thing for me. It would be Ivan Toney. I know he's a risk, but like I said, I don't need to worry about his confidence. Like I saw today, I don't need to worry about his confidence if he doesn't score a goal, right? Because I know if he doesn't score a goal, I know he can hold up the ball. I know that he's got arrogance in abundance, and I know that if he doesn't score, he'll say, "Well, I don't care. I'll score it next minute, next 5 minutes, next 10 minutes, next game, whatever. I don't really care." You know what I mean? I'll do whatever it takes. I'll take Eze at a push, even though I don't think the guy's got arrogance. I think Elise's better than him. I think he's got the mindset in there. That's why he went to Bayern Munich. That's why Bayern Munich went and got him, because he's got that.
They activated his release clause and he agreed to terms. Although I haven't seen him holding the shirt yet.
Oh, okay, fair enough then.
But last word on the street was they activated the clause. They've agreed to terms. Is damn near there. And then I heard today, Staffy TV said United were hijacking it. I don't know what's going on, but it looks like Bayern are doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like for me, yeah, and Gibbs White, meh. I'll be honest with you. I've seen him at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'm gonna go on what I saw there. Meh. I'll be honest with you. So yeah,
I feel kind of meh about Gibbs White as well. I feel the same.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I'll say no. I wouldn't be, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, again, it depends on what the coaching staff can do with the players and make them play development. Like for instance, I'll give you an example, like a Gareth Bell, right? I'm not saying that someone like it, but Gareth Bell, the way he was when he started, turned into a world beater. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. After a few years. Now that's player development. You know what I mean? You know? Mm-hmm. So again, it comes down to a few years. You know what I mean? If we're gonna
How old was Gareth Bell when we bought him from Southampton? 16. Was he 19?
Young.
16?
Southampton. Basically, when it's funny because he wasn't developed. I wouldn't say Harry Redknapp developed him, because Harry Redknapp's not really a developer or a player, but he's a good man manager. He is a man motivator, Harry Redknapp. And I don't know. People will say AVB should get the credit because he moved him from the wing into the striker kind of role. And is AVB a top coach in that respect? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, the jury's out. So this is why I go back to, like, if the player has the profile and they're just good, it's a good footballer, I'm happy with that. Do you know what I mean? If that's the baseline, I always like to have technical ability. Does the kid have energy? Does he have legs? Yes. Do you know what I'm saying? A lot of people complaining because Basuma looked lethargic. He lacked energy. Like, he didn't look involved when we lost the ball. So if you get a youngster playing in that position at times, can he help add energy when we lose the ball, win the ball back? Is he press resistant? Do you know what I mean? As I said at the start, he's not going to necessarily move the needle, but like you were saying, Jacob, he's an improvement on the fullback options that we had, and it's better than what we have at the academy. Do you know what I'm saying? So overall, I'm not up. I wouldn't be mad at it, put it that way. You know what I mean? But yeah, going back
30,
to
35. And we keep getting out names that we wanted to get out. Yeah, go ahead, Ash.
If back to the question, if we had like a player that everyone thought like, yeah, this is the one that could help push Tottenham, then I think all Spurs fans would get behind it. Do you know what I mean? Kvaratskhelia, for like that's the name you mentioned, Alex. If Kvaratskhelia
Yeah.
all of a sudden ended up Tottenham, you're like, you know what? This looks a bit different. This feels a bit different. You know what I mean?
Lest we forget, we could have got him for, what was it, 10 or 12 when Jose was here. He said,
Yep.
go give me that Kvaratskhelia. All the fans were like, we don't know him. He's a Wi-Fi password. And we didn't get him. And then look, now everyone's saying, let's go get us Kvaratskhelia. It's just, I find it ironic how much the changing of the winds happens. And, you know.
I don't know if he would have been the player that he would have been at Tottenham though, because it depends on the manager as well. And like I say, it's about development of players, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like I look at Grealish, Jack Grealish at Man City. Like I love Jack Grealish. I think he needs to get out of Man City. I think Pep Guardiola has absolutely ruined him because he was not that sort of. He's not the sort of player to play in the system. He's a player that's a maverick. You know what I mean? That's why I like Kvaratskhelia, because he looks like a maverick, someone that just doesn't need a system to tell him what to do. He tells them what to do with the way he plays. He knows how to play. He's got the sense of what to do when he's got the ball. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's the same thing they say about Kane, Foden.
Yeah. Well,
who else was out there today?
Yeah. So this is the point. He's got that mind. He's got that viewage. You know, what I mean, that's what you had in the 90s, and unfortunately, those players are gone because they need players to tell them what to do. And they're just like, I just don't know what else to say anymore. You know what I mean? So, you know, we'll have to wait and see. You know what I mean? But again, I know nothing's changed in my mind on this one. Listen, guys, I'm very stubborn in that sense, and I've wanted to do a show on this. I really badly wanted to do a show on it, but I sat there and thought I don't want to always say the same thing I've been saying for the whole year. You know what I mean? But it just got to a point where I can't keep quiet anymore, and I'm sorry I've ruined it for you two, because I like you two. You know I like you two.
Alex, you didn't ruin nothing. You know that. I just didn't see your chat. I was like 15 minutes behind in the chat, and everyone's like, "You afraid of Alex, bro?" Alex and I talk behind this. What are you talking about? Why am I afraid of Alex? We have each other's number. If I was scared of Alex, I wouldn't be like, "Here, Michael Myers. Here's my phone number. Here, Ted Bundy. Hit me up. Here's my no." But look, big up Danny Kiriakou. My G says Kvaratskhelia was brought to Tottenham by Paratici to Conte. Conte said no. So apparently he said no. But look, I do want to say this has been an absolutely great show. I've enjoyed it. I did change the title to Heated. It got a little heated, and some people enjoy that, some people don't. Obviously, when I have a guest like Ash or Alex on, or a guest in general, things are a little bit different on these shows. But this is now episode 200 of the Untitled series. So this will be conclusion of 200. And what a great way to celebrate 200 episodes with Ash, Alex. I really enjoyed the discussion because, like I've always said, I've never wanted to be just some kind of echoing chamber of like happiness. And as much as I want to spread immaculate vibes, I know that life ain't always full of fucking rosies and huggable fucking bunny rabbits and stuff. So, and these conversations need to be had. Diversity of opinion is the great part of life. So let me say thank you to the sponsors tonight: Tom Martin, TJ Warren TV, Shamu Vandevu, and a user with the lone super chat there. Big up for that. I appreciate y'all and every single YouTube chat member. I do appreciate every single one of you who monetarily give to the channel. But if you don't want to give any money, don't worry. You don't have to give money to be a supporter. Hit a like, hit a subscribe, vote in the poll. And I see the poll when I refreshed the stream about 15, 20 minutes ago. There's 140 votes and 79 likes. So what, 21 likes to 100? Let's see if we could get that. That'd be fantastic. We could hit 100 likes. And 140 votes, that tells me about 65 people voted in the poll but didn't like the video. And to me, you acting like you're not trying to help the channel by not liking the video, but guess what you did? You helped anyway by being here. So thank you for being here. And the winner for tonight at 36% is my feelings exactly. I like it, and I like Archie Gray. Close second at 33% says, I'm thrilled with the Archie Gray. He can be generational. Now, whether he is or he isn't remains to be seen. Nothing we said here will dictate whether that does or doesn't happen. And that's the beautiful part about doing this YouTube thing, is it's completely inconsequential to reality. So I love it. And big up to Alex for joining. Big up to Ashmatic. Their channel links are in the description of this video. If you are watching right now or on playback, you can click the description. Their channels are there. Make sure you subscribe and support these fine gentlemen. Big up David Shear. And big up everybody, Scott M, everybody in the chat. I appreciate y'all. But look, I got to leave it there. My wife needs me. I told her I was going to do an hour, hour and a half tops. It's almost 2 hours now. This has been a great conversation. But y'all have anything to say before anything coming up tomorrow or anything? Like a show? Or stream?
No show from me, but guys, make sure you subscribe to Spurs Kings TV and make sure you put the notifications on just in case we pop up. We're due to do that real soon. But yeah, big up. Love for having me on. Up. Love for the love, bro. And we move.
Always love having you on. Alex, you got anything coming up you want to tell the people about before we say bye-bye?
It's just Mr. Box Office TV. I hopefully will do some shows over the summer with my feelings and stuff. I will also say this to the Spurs fan base as well. A warning out there. People are gonna clash this season, and it's gonna be people are gonna clash on YouTube. So if you don't like it, you just have to get used to it. I'm sorry, because I think unfortunately we've got to that point now. There's a lot of people out there that are not on YouTube that are fed up, and I'm one of them. So just get used to it. You can try and ignore it and try and divert yourself away from it. It's not gonna happen. It's gone too far away from it. 24 years, whatever it is. Sorry, we're gonna have to see something different, and that's it. And until
hey,
Daniel,
Alex, when we win a trophy next year, because I feel it, I want it, and I need it, and I'm manifesting it. When we win that trophy, and I have the celebration stream where my titties are out, Alex, you better be here drinking with me, my friend. I don't drink alcohol, but I'm popping bottles when we win a trophy. We're doing a celebration stream right here at United Spurs of America.
I'm just saying, because you know the people I know, right, that don't agree with me, right? Okay, and you see the opposites, everything else. You see, there's going to be clashes, and that's all I'm saying is just get yourself strapped in.
It's been going on for 20-some years, of course.
I saw your show on Football Heritage TV, and you did well, my friend Jacob. You did well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was angry. I did apologize. I dropped a couple F-bombs in my...
Jacob, it's football. You get passionate. You weren't angry.
Yeah. But that's the thing. We all love Tottenham at the end of the day.
But I've done the same thing. You know what I mean? You're talking to Mr. Box Office in the main event. Come on now. You know what I mean? The ratings killer. You know what I mean? You know how I'm like. You know what I mean? So don't take it too much. This is what football does to you. But I'm just saying to everyone, right? It's gonna clash. People are gonna clash. So just get yourself strapped in.
And that's what I've always said that on the channel as well. I wanna say I agree with Alex there, because we can't be afraid of the oppositional thought process, can we? Because aren't we humans who are adaptable and constantly growing? I just talked to my dad, my real dad, on the phone for like 4 hours the other night. And he's fucking old as shit. And he was talking about, I'm still growing and learning every day. And he's old. And I'm not even that old, and I feel old, but I can still grow and I can still learn. Everyone can still grow and learn. Everyone can be right and wrong. At the end of the day, we all love Tottenham. We all love our club. We all love the most beautiful sport there is in the fucking world. So that's what it is. And that's what I love about it. Again, that's why I say when it comes to Alex, when it comes to, anywhere I go, if someone has an opposite position or opinion of me, I think it's more enjoyable to discuss why you feel certain ways. And try not to get too heated. But obviously, I'm not fucking perfect. I get too heated. I feel like I'm being misrepresented and my truth isn't being spoken. So then I get heated and my heart rate accelerates. And that's the part. It's that fucking burning fire, that passion we all have, man. And if you lose that, what the fuck you even got left, man? You got your balls, your word, and the fucking burning desire. I'm watching a lot of Sopranos. I've been watching the Sopranos. So.
You wouldn't do the YouTube channel in the first place if you didn't have the passion. Let's be honest here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. 100%. But yeah, I was going to end with some kind of Sopranos quote. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Yeah? I'm watching The Sopranos, so I'm enjoying the fuck out. Anyway, hit a like on the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to these boys. If you haven't liked the video yet, you're probably not, and you need some love in your life. So here's a hug. Bring it in. Get yourself a hug. All right. That's episode 200. I fucking loved it. Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Obviously, thank you, the sponsors, as always. We are out of here. Stay blessed. Stay fresh. Up the lads. And come on, you Spurs.
United Spurs of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Give it